to the Thursday, May 30th meeting of the Eastham Board of Health. This meeting will be video recorded and broadcast over local access Channel 8 and through the town website at www.eastham-ma.gov. So, first is opening statements. I'll turn to colleagues.
Does anyone else have any opening statements before mine, or?
No.
And
Okay.
Paige, do you want to?
First and
No, I
foremost.
have
Oh, sorry,
nothing
Paige,
right
do you
now.
have any opening statements?
Not right now.
Okay, great. First and foremost, I would like to introduce Sam, our new office admin. We are very, very, very glad to have him join our team. So grateful that he's here. He's been very, very busy the last 3 weeks. 3 weeks? We're in week 3.
Hi, Sam. Welcome.
welcome,
Hey,
Sam.
welcome. Thank you.
Pleasure to be here.
The health department in general, this is a busy time of year for all of us. Sam's been thrown into the mix of that with rental permits coming in, seasonal applications and inspections being done. So for an update for that, all seasonal food, pool, hotel, motels have been inspected and opened with the exception of 2, 1 food, 1 hotel, motel, cottage colony. So that's good. The sampling of our public beaches is starting soon. That will begin on Wednesday, June 5th. And our beach sampling day will be Wednesdays this year, which we like because it's not the last day of the week before a weekend. So to reiterate to you and to inform new members, we are charged under state code to sample, monitor, and post all of the waterways that are open to the public for marine and freshwater beaches. So further down in the agenda, you'll be voting to approve the 12 marine beaches and I think 5 or 6 freshwater ponds. Also to update you, we've scheduled a meeting room for the cesspool upgrade workshop for Thursday, October 10th. I have the room currently reserved for all day. So if you could get back to us what time works for you on that day, we can set a time for the workshop. Obviously, prior to the workshop, we'll be working on getting a letter out to the property owners of the known cesspools, and they'll be invited to that workshop along with local engineers, installers. We also wanted to bring in
We have the Aqua Fund
Aqua
coming.
Fund coming. Yep.
Which helps with financing?
Funding, yep.
Yep.
And Harry's going to give his presentation
That's right.
on the innovative alternative systems in the
Yep.
ground in town and how they're functioning.
Yep, it's going to be a
Okay,
two-for,
great.
right? And then a COVID update, we have no positive COVID cases for the last 2-week time period, and the 2-week time period before that, there was 1 reported positive. That's it from us.
Very good.
I'll just add one little thing. A note to all the seniors over 65, please get your COVID booster. It's available.
Thank you, Francie.
All set, Zoe?
I'm good.
All good. All right, then we will move on to the first agenda item, which is 55 Appleseed Road. The applicant is Susan Heights. Is someone here to present on that?
Yeah, can you folks hear me okay?
Can't hear.
It's online.
Yeah, somebody.
Oh, hi, Mike, sorry, just 1 second, I'm trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can't hear you well. Technological difficulty. Sorry.
Can you hear me now?
No.
I am,
It's not an issue on your end, it's an issue on our end.
We're working
Okay.
to fix it right now.
okay.
Give us a few minutes and we'll try and get this resolved.
Is it a Zoom setting? Is everybody on mute?
I think that
No, it's a setting on his computer,
Yeah,
on
he
his
has
system,
access to the-
Blaine's system.
the microphone, where the sound input is coming from.
Wonder.
Good idea.
Oh, yeah.
You say you hear it on your computer?
No, it's only here.
Okay, just put a microphone on it for now.
Okay.
Wherever the sound comes.
I don't know where the sound comes out.
Probably in that side. I'll try and speak now.
Hi, Mike, can you give us can you speak?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Use the volume up on this.
Over here.
Yeah, we're up full volume. One second, Mike, so sorry.
Okay.
I don't even know if that's the speaker.
Are you looking for the speaker?
Yeah,
Laptop that he has access to.
there's a whole system back there. Video things.
Okay, have them try again.
All right, Mike, can you speak again, please?
Yes, testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3.
Yes, excellent, we can hear you.
All right,
Yay!
perfect.
Sorry about that, and thanks for your patience.
Absolutely. I didn't know if you folks wanted me to share those structures, but no other variances are being requested for the design. There is an existing gas line that runs through the center of our new leaching facility. So part of this project also involves relocating that gas line to reroute it around the leaching system. And that's what you see in the color red. There's a red line that goes around it. So we would have to relocate that gas line to go around the leaching facility. Now, like I mentioned before, we're on Little Muddy Pond. There's an inland bank and then there's a flood zone that runs along the back of the property. My understanding is that there is a 100-foot buffer zone to that flood zone line, which we show on the plan. So you'll see that 100-foot zone A offset line that kind of bisects the tanks from the leaching facility. So that the tank and the pump chamber will be within 100 feet of it, but the new leaching system will just be outside of it. It'll be a little over 100 feet away. There's also a water line that runs through the center of the property, going to the front of the house. We're going to be over 10 feet away from that water line. Like I mentioned before, no other variances are being requested. We are providing IA technology because we are on the pond. And just want to note that there is no reduction in the size of the leaching facility that was taken for this project. Because we're on the pond, we're providing erosion control on the left-hand side of the house to prevent any type of erosion or sedimentation to go down the slope there. So as you can see, it's a much better septic system that we propose in for using IA technology, and we're in front of the board to get your permission to get approval. And then we also have a conservation meeting later on this evening around 6 p.m. to also present this project to them and procure our approval from the commission as well. So with that, I would take any questions you might have.
All right, thank you so much. Before we open it up to questions, are there any abutters in the room or on Zoom that wish to make a comment? Oh, seeing no heads nodding, not hearing anything, okay. Thank you, so we can now open it up to questions. I know, I'll start with Francie to my left, I know you did have a question.
Well, I have a couple of questions. First of all, the depth, what is the negative just because I'm a little stupid, just explain to me, what is the negative,
Inexperienced.
negative aspect of having the system dug so low into the ground instead of higher up?
Or, and let me add to that, and is there an impact on the pond?
No, having that leaching facility higher in elevation provides more separation to the groundwater. So we believe it's actually better for the environment to have the leaching facility shallow. There's only going to be 3 feet max cover over that leaching facility, as opposed to the existing one, which is, I want to say, about 8 or 9 feet below grade. So there is no negative effects of putting the leaching facility higher in elevation. The only thing that we were constrained with is the elevation of the pipe coming out of the house, which means that the septic tank and the pump chamber would still have to be deep, but the actual treatment of the sewage is at a higher elevation.
Okay.
Okay, that was question number 1.
And I also want to add that that existing leaching facility that's deep in the ground will have to be removed and replaced with clean sand prior to the contractor laying in the new chambers and crushed stone for that leaching facility.
Okay. This is my second question. With the, I guess, and this is a question for Susan, really. If this house was 4 bedrooms, so this is considered to be a pre-existing, non-conforming, on a lot size of 24,829, even with the IA system, that doesn't cover.
So they're grandfathered or pre-existing non-conforming for the 4 bedrooms that they have. I did do a walkthrough inspection to confirm what was there.
So that bedroom in the basement has like an egress and all of that? Okay. All right, that was question number 2. This is my last question. Would the owners, given the proximity to Muddy Pond, would they be interested in adding a phosphorus reduction system? Which is something that some owners of properties that are right on the edge of our kettle ponds have elected to do.
I don't believe so. They were really sticker price shocked with the introduction of the IA system, to be honest with you, and to add another set of treatment, which would increase the cost of the system. I know they wouldn't be amenable to that. I do want to say that what we have right now, obviously, is a lot better what's there now. So, with all due respect, we're requesting permission for this particular design with the IA versus introducing the phosphorus treatment or treatment.
Okay, just putting it out there.
Yep.
Doesn't hurt to ask.
Nope,
Yep. I understand.
okay, I'm done.
Clay or Lois?
No questions.
Question.
Yep.
Are the service providers okay maintaining these systems so deep in the ground?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, they will be, because we're providing riser covers to the septic tank and also to the distribution box. Now, the distribution box is going to be pretty shallow, like I said, about 3 feet. The tank itself will be deep in the ground, about approximately 7 feet deep, but we are providing riser covers to grade. So any system operator or the manufacturer of FAST can easily obtain their samples through these inspection ports and covers to grade. So there shouldn't be any issue with that.
Anything else? Paige, I'm going to give you an
No, I
opportunity.
have no questions. Michael was very thorough in his explanation of what was existing, what was previous, and what they're proposing.
Okay, thank you. No other comments or questions?
Okay, one more thing, because it says here on our proposal to approve, do you know if this is an annually used or seasonally used property?
Annually. It's not a seasonal home, no.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
There's a note here, if I may, there's a
Yep.
note here about blower unit location to be shown on engineer's diagram
As built.
as built. Shown on engineers.
As
As built.
It's another plan that's given after the system has been installed, and the engineer goes back out there to give us another certified plan showing where all the components are.
So that's what you're
That's
looking
why I
for?
wanted it on
Okay,
that. yeah.
All right,
all right, thank you.
so,
Yeah, that's understandable. So the blower currently is being proposed right at the front left-hand corner of the house, along with the vent pipe for the tank. So in the as-built plan, we'll be sure to show the blower and that vent as-built location on the as-built plan.
okay, and then similarly, and because I can't remember the map, and I know there's no abutters here, but that is not close to the property line, or as far away as possible.
Yeah, the setback from, let's say, the blower to the side property line is over 20 feet away.
Okay.
Now, I do want to mention the exact location to be plus or minus. That was just a location I thought would be best fit on the property. Some folks like to move it a little bit farther away from the house, or perhaps run it down the left side of the house, maybe put it up against the chimney. So there's some variation or some flexibility of where they can put it. But wherever they end up putting it, we'll be sure to show it on the as-built plan.
Yeah, and that, Mike, is where sometimes we run into issues, and they're bringing this up now because in the review write-up that I gave them, we just want to be clear that consideration be made to keep blower units as far away from the property lines of neighbors as possible, because they can be noisy, and then we get complaints about it. And then it's done, and we can't do anything about it. So if as much consideration as possible could be made to keep them away from the property line as possible, as far away as possible.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. I think we've covered everything. All right, I will make a motion, if that's okay with everybody. So the motion would be that to recommend that the Board of Health approve these plans with the following conditions. No increase in habitable or occupiable square footage without Board of Health review. The 4-bedroom deed restriction and use of IA technology using microfast 0.5 technology treatment will be recorded with the Barnstable County Registry of Deeds. Secondary treatment and monitoring under general use approval conditions per DEP regulations, including quarterly effluent sampling for total nitrogen, BOD, TSS. Nitrate nitrogen not to exceed 19 milligrams per liter. Sorry, I'm stumbling. Effluent sampling protocols to be referenced on recorded deed. The applicant has confirmed that the property will be utilized annually. Operation and maintenance agreement to be submitted to the Eastham Health Department and Barnstable County Health and Environment. Operation and maintenance contract required for the life of the system. Operator to report results to Barnstable County Health and Environment Database or directly to the Eastham Health Department if not available. Designer to verify proper operation of the system prior to issuance of the certificate of compliance. Sewer lines within 10 feet of municipal water lines are to be sleeved. The blower unit location to be shown on engineers as built. Consideration should be given to keeping the blower unit as far away from abutting property lines as possible. 11 by 17 2-scale plan is to be provided with the septic permit application for office scanning purposes, and this Board of Health approval is valid until May 30th, 2025. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Paige.
You're
All right,
welcome.
now, all voting in favor, starting with Paige.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye. Okay. It's unanimous in favor, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Have a good day, folks.
All right, thank you. Thank you for being patient. All right.
All right, if I could get 2 of these signed by you guys, please. One for Mike, one for us. Start one here. And one here.
Oh, okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, the next item on the agenda is 963 to 985 State Highway Arm 2 Partners LLC.
Good afternoon. For the record, I'm Laura Schofield from Schofield Brothers. And actually, as it turns out, since I submitted this application to you, this is actually 963 through 985 Intanti Way now.
Oh,
Apparently, the address changed in the meantime. So anyway, this is a septic system plan here for your review. The project was filed before the board in April of 2023 to request approval of an increase in the allowable nutrient loading per acre here. This is just to review with everyone, this is a 1.45 acre parcel that has 3 existing condominium buildings, each with 2 bedrooms. And the applicant would like to build a 4th 2-bedroom structure on the property, bringing the total to 8 bedrooms. The plan is to provide an Advantex to get that nitrogen removal down to the 19 milligram per liter standard. This is a completely compliant septic system design. There's no local or state variances required, and the property will be connected to the municipal water system as part of the project. And I think that's it.
okay. Before we go to questions, I want to always ask if there are any abutters in the room or on Zoom who wish to speak. Okay. Hearing none, we can open it up to questions or comments.
Is this being rebuilt, or these cottages are staying as is?
They've recently been renovated, so the existing ones.
It's been done already.
Yes.
My only question, because you kept referring to a duplex.
So right, they're all,
Duplex, that's not a
Side
duplex.
by side.
Side by side.
Oh, a
bedroom
side
each.
by side.
Yeah, so
I know, I
there
think
are
of a
3
duplex as
existing.
up and down.
There are
'cause I'm
3
from the city.
existing that have been rehabbed lately, and 1 new proposed. Each
Okay.
only 2 bedrooms, 1 bedroom each, side by side. 1 structure, right down the middle, split.
Okay, thanks.
I was just going to say that.
I was just gonna say, that was mine and my husband's very first house together, was one of the duplexes,
One of these?
You know,
24 years ago.
wow. Okay, any other questions or comments?
A question of just general interest is so under it says that no increase in design flow would be allowed. Would this bill not elicit an increase of flow?
I think it's beyond what we're proposing now, so beyond the 8-bedroom design flow, there would be no additional flow.
Yes, so there is an increase, but that's beyond, after today,
Beyond
they
that.
did more, they'd have to come back, yeah.
I actually have a question.
Sure.
If the board is willing to reapprove this today, I was wondering if we could get a 2-year approval, because a year just goes by so fast now in the permitting of these projects, and twice I've ended back here for the same thing, where a year just goes by like that, and contractors are busy, and it's just, doesn't seem to be enough time.
Go ahead, Susan.
What's the plan for the proposed duplex?
Well, they still need to go through the permitting for that, so that could take a year. So,
Do we have a
Okay.
builder, or is anything lined up yet for any of that?
well, they've been working on it. It's just that it just seems to take a lot of time these days. And obviously, if anything were to change on this plan or with the project, we'd have to come back. But otherwise, you know, the plan is just to continue with this design.
Laura, off the top of your head, when was the last septic inspection? When it transferred to the new property owners, or? Because the existing system for the 3 duplexes that are there now.
Well, and that is a newer system.
It is.
So the system that's there now is not even that old.
No, it's not, so.
Do we want to, first of all, is that legal? We could do it 2 years if we chose to?
We have set the 1-year timeframe for the purposes of keeping on top of all of the IA approvals that you guys seek. If you wanted to extend it, that would be your call.
Do you want to take that vote first, is whether or not you want to extend?
Extend it for 2 years. And my only thinking is, or hesitancy to do the 2 years, is 2 years so long as A, nothing changes on your end, and B, nothing changes on our end.
So far as regulations?
Yes, that's the only, that would be my only hesitancy. So if we vote to approve 2 years instead of 1, but somehow understanding that if there are changes either on the regulatory side or on your side, then it reverts back to a year. Does that sound, or is that too confusing? But that's my only hesitancy.
I don't think that's confusing. If you guys
Okay.
approve it for 2 years and they apply for a construction permit, then that protects everyone, I think. If the construction permit has not been applied for and the rules change, well, then you have to come back.
Lois, what do you think?
This is the second time she's come back for the same project.
No, I understand the reasoning. I just want to make sure that we're all protecting ourselves. That's all.
I honestly have no concerns with the 2 years. The only pause I had when you were saying that was in my head, I was thinking, well, we give them a year anyway. What would happen if something changed in the year? I mean,
It's arbitrary.
the same conditions would apply whether it's 1 year or 2.
Yes,
So I'm good with it.
okay. Okay.
So as
So
you
sh-
read off the conditions, you could just change that date to a 2026 date.
There you go.
It'd be May
can
30th,
do it.
2026.
Okay. So
Go.
I'll make a
Go for it.
motion to approve the project as submitted with the following conditions. No increase in design flow be allowed. Any increase in habitable square footage would require Board of Health review. Secondary treatment and monitoring under general use approval conditions, DEP regulations, including testing quarterly or 2 times per year for seasonal use, for total nitrogen, BOD, TSS, nitrate nitrogen not to exceed 19 milligrams per liter. After a 2-year period of time, reduction of testing could be requested to BOH by owner. Operation and maintenance agreement to be submitted to the Eastham Board of Health. Operation and maintenance agreement to be required for life of the system. Operator to report results to Barnstable County Health or directly to the Eastham Health Department if not available. Deed restriction for 8-bedroom use and use alternative technology requirement to be recorded on deed. Designer to verify proper operation of the system prior to issuance of certificate of compliance. Applicant to confirm legal property address. Oh, this is done already. I'll remove that. Applicant has confirmed the legal property address, which is been changed to 963-985 Intanti Way, right? Okay. Legal address to be shown on plans submitted for septic installation application. Connection will be made to municipal water supply, and the Board of Health approval expires May 30th, 2026.
Could I add a condition? I apologize, the second sentence I meant to add here for number 4, and effluent treatment protocols to be on the deed as well. That
Okay.
line didn't come in, I apologize. It didn't copy over. Okay.
Okay?
I'll second that. Okay, we shall vote. Paige?
Aye.
Thank you. Hope, aye.
Francie, aye.
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 Okay, approved for 2 years.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Have fun.
Laura, if you want to wait a second, I'll give you your copy.
Oh, sure. Sorry. Bye, Laura.
Thank you. All right. Moving on to 150 Silver Spring Beach Road. Gary and Gabrielle McGrath.
Good afternoon. Stephanie Sequin with Ryder and Wilcox. I'm representing Gary and Gabrielle McGrath. Gabby is here this afternoon. And this is to request approval to remove an existing one-bedroom cottage and replace it with a new one-bedroom dwelling. So this property, according to assessor's records, the cottage was built in 1950. In 1998, the property was for sale. It had just the original cesspool, so a plan was prepared to upgrade the cesspool with a new Title V system. It also involved the installation of a new well, and due to the presence of existing wells and septic systems on surrounding properties, there were several variances that were granted. And the variances that were granted back in 1998, there were 4 of them. The proposed leaching trench is 7 feet from the easterly property line, which required a 3-foot variance. There is no reserve area provided. The new well was 3 feet from the road layout where 25 feet is required, so a 22-foot variance was granted. And the proposed well was 83 feet from an existing leaching pit located on an abutting property, so there was a 17-foot variance granted for that. The septic system and well were installed per the plan, and shortly thereafter, Gabby and her husband purchased the property and have owned it ever since. And now they would like to replace the existing house. As I said, it was built in the 50s. It's time. There's not really much anything worth salvaging. So Good news is, town water is now available on the street, and they will connect the new building to town water. The existing well will remain for irrigation purposes only. So we're able to eliminate 2 of the variances that were granted by eliminating the existing well. We're also able to open up space to designate a reserve area, which wasn't originally provided for, so that's eliminating a 3rd variance, and the only one that remains is the existing leaching system is going to remain 7 feet from the property line. So the new house is still just 1 bedroom. It is designed to fit on the property far enough away from the existing system so that they can connect the new house to the existing system. But because the variances were granted back in 1998, we need to come back before the board for your approval. I think that's it. We're not creating any new nonconformity. It's just the fact of the smaller 1-bedroom house being replaced with a larger 1-bedroom house. This is not an environmentally sensitive lot. There aren't any wetlands anywhere near the property. It's not in a Zone 2. It's not in a DEP designated nitrogen-sensitive area, and there's no issues with depth to groundwater. So it's just the fact that the variances were granted previously. It's the reason that we're back before you.
Stephanie, do you know when the last time the system was inspected?
I don't think since it was installed.
It's not in my list of conditions, but if we could have that done. It just popped in my head. I
Yeah, no,
apologize.
that's a reasonable.
I was going to ask the same thing.
Okay. All right. Again, I don't want to forget abutters. I always want to remember to ask in case there's anybody on Zoom has any comments or thoughts. Okay, then we can open it up to questions. I have one very basic question. On the floor plan, we have the 2nd floor, we have the loft, and we have the basement. Maybe it just didn't get into mine. There's a 1st floor, I'm guessing.
I'm sorry, what?
Let's show that on the screen here.
Thank you. I could just have missed it.
This is the 1st floor.
Oh, okay, it says 1st floor, and
It
it's
says first
just,
floor,
it's
yeah.
not in my,
It didn't come through.
it didn't come through? That's
Oh, I'm
okay, it's
sorry.
here.
Here it is.
Here it is, I apologize. I'm going to take a quick look at it, and others, please, are there questions or comments?
You know, that may have been me. I don't think it came through on the scan. I apologize. It's only coming up 2nd floor. So here, you can have mine.
Maybe because it
Oh,
was.
I've got
She has
Francie's.
mine.
I
I
have
have mine
Francie's.
too, though.
Thank you.
It's the scanner.
It's totally fine. It was more just a question. I was looking through it, and I was like,
That's why you're
Well, it's
asking
good-
for
it's
this
good to
11 by
see the first
17
floor.
size.
huh?
I said it's good to see the 1st floor.
Well, like I kept
That's
looking, I
where
said, was
most
the
of-
basement mislabeled? Was that really the 1st floor? But I'm like, no. Thank you. There you go. Thank you, thank you.
Sorry, it's probably because I did double-sided and maybe they didn't scan both sides.
All right. Bathroom to the bedroom. Okay.
So there is just on the 1st floor, 1 bedroom on the right side of the page, and then the whole open living, kitchen, dining area.
Okay, and then the loft is, a lot of it, it appears to be open to below.
Right.
Okay. Okay, that was actually my only question.
I just have, this is kind of another silly question. On the 2nd floor, there's a bathroom, but there doesn't seem to be much living space. Open, I'm not sure.
There is, it's not a big space.
9 by 9.
The bath on
think
the
the
second floor is
total,
5 by 8?
No, there,
Yeah.
it just
Oh, the
seems to
whole
be a
thing.
bathroom by itself with no living space attached. I guess open loft area?
Yeah.
It is an open loft. There are a lot of lines going on there.
And is that a half wall by the open loft?
So you come up these stairs, this is a wall, this is the railing that overlooks below.
Okay.
And it comes around to here.
Oh.
So this would be the loft area.
Okay, including this area called corridor.
Yes.
Okay.
Where's the railing? Where did she say the railing was?
So around the corridor is the railing, is it,
The railing was here. This is the loft, but this whole area is a living space with a bathroom.
And is that, I was going to say, looking at the diagram off to the left where it says open loft, is that a half wall or a full wall or a railing? What is that?
Is that going to be a railing, an open railing?
Open railing.
An open railing.
Thank you.
okay,
So privacy is not provided, which meets your code for a loft. Privacy is not provided because
Right.
it's open to below. It is worth mentioning within the conditions, though, if you see fit.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to make that a condition, that an open rail as opposed to a half wall, that's fine.
okay. So open rail on second floor surrounding, what is it called? Have to go back, loft area?
Well, it's not
Loft on
really
second
surrounding
floor,
the
not to
loft
use-
area, but on
Corridor. Corridor?
the open railing overlooking the living area.
In the kitchen. On the floor plan, it calls for open kitchen below, open to kitchen below, and then open to bedroom below. So all of that would be railing, correct?
No, because to the bedroom, that's the bathroom wall. Beyond the wall is open, so basically the bedroom is cathedral. But there is a wall around the bathroom.
So you could make a condition that open railing to living space below?
Okay.
Got it.
I just wanted, one other thing.
Question?
On the lot plan here, that's the house, the proposed dwelling that you have drawn on the lot
Yes.
plan, right?
All right, get back.
Anything else?
I don't think
Okay,
so.
so
I think
I'll-
we have, do you want to go in, we
I'll
we have
make a-
two
I'll-
different,
huh?
two additional conditions.
Yes, I'll make a motion to approve the plan with the following conditions. Finding that it meets the maximum feasible compliance, we will approve this plan with the following conditions. No increase in habitable or occupiable square footage without Board of Health review. One-bedroom deed restriction to be recorded with the Barnstable County Registry of Deeds. Added to the deed will be stated the following. A, loft on second floor not to be used as bedroom does not meet Eastham Board of Health definition of a bedroom. There will, in addition, there will be an open area, an open railing to, what did I say? An open railing to this living space below.
Install overlooking the living space below.
An open railing overlooking the living space below. Okay?
Okay.
B, the finished basement space is not to be used as a bedroom, does not meet Eastham Board of Health definition of a bedroom. I'm going to add 3, the septic system is to be inspected prior to issuance of the certificate of compliance.
We could say septic inspection to be conducted prior to submission of a building permit?
Okay? All right, septic system
Unless you've already done that.
inspection.
I thought we had it done.
If you,
No, we didn't go for our permit yet. I thought we had all the septic and everything all
Was it
started,
it?
checked out.
If it was,
if it was, you can just submit the
It was a
paperwork.
broad question. I obviously didn't
yeah.
consider that as a condition before, when I was writing them, it just came to my head now, but I can look and see if it's been done in the last, really, it should have been
Every
done like in
3
the
years,
last 6
right?
months would make us comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This type of scope of work,
I think I've done it, and I think they've came and,
within the last 6 months.
yes.
That, maybe you're thinking of having it
Having it pumped.
pumped. What we're talking about is having the whole system
Right,
inspected.
I thought I did, but, you know, I wrote.
I can look in my records, but we should still make it a condition.
Okay.
So then the question, when does that need to be done? Prior to, do you sign off on the building permit
We do
application?
review building permit applications.
So prior to issuance of building permit?
Yes.
How, would that work?
Okay. And that would be for the final inspection by Eastham Health Department prior to issuance of a building permit. What's COC?
Certificate of compliance.
Oh, building permit
Certificate of
certificate of
commit.
compliance. Designer to verify proper operation of the system prior to the issuance of the certificate of compliance.
Is that necessary?
I think that's kind of this,
It's just a regular final
Oh,
inspection.
okay,
and the Board of
For the
Health,
line.
okay.
Board of Health approval valid until May 30th, 2025.
Okay.
Okay?
I'd second that. Okay, shall vote on the motion page.
Aye.
Thank you, Hope, aye.
Francie, aye.
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 All right, approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thought it was safe to put the sweaters away. But now the AC is on, and I gotta break the sweaters out again, right?
It's freezing. Oh, what do we got?
I know.
I'm just
Are you sure? Okay, I'll put it right here, I thought you were going out that door. I was trying to make it more convenient for you. That's the mother in me, sorry.
I might borrow your services.
I know, isn't that terrible?
No. It's okay.
Take care of everybody. 1 from 11, and one of the oldest, we gotta make sure, right? All right, so are we okay? We're all set? Okay, thank you all.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
All right. Right, the next item is a reduction request for 16 Gales Way, Barbara L. Reed. Is there anybody on Zoom that wanted to speak to this?
No, I don't think.
No, it's just a request. So I see that some of the effluent samplings exceed the threshold.
By a lot.
By a lot. So rather than approve this request at this time, that additional samples should be taken.
Yeah, and I did discuss it with the property owner when I was doing my write-ups. That, you know, I expressed concern, especially given the months that it was happening, May, July, and September, was it?
Yeah.
I said, if you had a lot of guests, are you doing anything different in those months, and she said, no, actually, I'm conserving water. I'm doing a good thing by not using too much water, and I had to correct her on that that's not actually what we need you to do with this system, because you're actually putting more concentrated effluent through the system, you know. She said she was taking less showers, doing less laundry. He said, you're putting a concentrated flow through there, so the system's not working right. And I said I was not going to recommend approving to the 2 times a year, and that I would ask that you ask for 2 more samples. And she understood. She wasn't happy, but she understood.
Okay, fair enough.
She's very close to the water.
Very.
All right, any other questions or comments from
So do-
anybody?
oh.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So should we just make a motion?
Yeah, unless-
You would need to make a motion to deny the request, and the condition of the denial is that there be 2 additional effluent samples in May and July, unless you wanted them in different time frame. 2 of those 3 samples were in May and July of last year.
Well, how about
May.
June? Oh, no. Well, I'm just thinking we're at the end of May.
So she
Yeah.
did say that she has just had, the operator was there for May
Oh, okay,
already.
Okay.
So we will get a May sample.
okay, okay,
That's one of the 2 that we would want, 2 more.
okay.
I mean, she's having this 4 times a year right now.
She's a year-round operated system right now, yeah.
Yeah, well, why wouldn't we just have another year and come back in a year?
My thought was that she meets the parameters for having sampled 4 times a year for 2 years. We have good samples except for those 3 last season.
Except for 2022, 2020. I don't see really,
They all seem to be at this time of year, so I think that if we had some data within this time range, you guys can do whatever you.
I mean, it was November, it was October, it was May, it was, I mean, it's been all through, as I'm looking at it, that the,
It was just started up then, I think. Moved in.
Susan,
It's not working great.
if someone's given more than quarterly testings, the purpose of that recourse, is that more so education? Because what if it just continues to show high readings despite having 6 a year testings? What's the ultimate goal?
To keep it below 19 milligrams per liter.
But-
I don't believe that this property owner has been properly educated
Right.
by the operator, and that's why we're getting these levels. Now that she's spoken to the operator and I've spoken to her, I think we will start to see better results. It looks like Paige has a comment to make.
Oh, sorry, thank you. Paige?
Thanks, guys. So I think that it's really important what Sue said about her use of water, which I think has a very big impact on the results that are showing up in the testing. So in the recommendation, would it be appropriate to add some verbiage to that regard?
Do not conserve water.
Yeah, I mean, like in an appropriate way, like, don't
It's
tell
hard.
them running like crazy, but at
Yeah.
the same time, to have the appropriate amount of water flow that the system needs to operate properly, just what Susan said.
And you believe that between you and between the operator, she's received the appropriate
She's got the
information?
notice,
So we
yeah.
don't have to do
All right.
that?
Okay.
And we could also add an additional condition that if they're not great, if they're not within the 19 milligrams per liter range for the May and July, now that she has been properly educated, I've already said that she needs to reapply after those 2 samples to come back. So you will get those results, and we can make an even further choice on whether to approve it or not, based on those results. It's not an end-all, be-all that she'll be approved after the next 2 samples.
Right,
Okay.
to Clay's question, though, if it continues to be bad despite the changes, then what is
It's
the
an
next step?
operator concern. operator needs to address it, right?
So say you're kind of putting the operator on notice
Yeah.
also that he's
Yeah.
not doing his job
Okay.
to the best of his ability if we got 3 samples in a row that are in the 40 milligrams per liter. That's-
Yeah, the operator of the septic itself, gotcha.
Yeah.
Of that treatment unit, yes.
I like the idea of the 2 samples. I mean, at first, when Francie said, why don't we go the whole year? I thought, yeah, why not? Because that gives us a greater history. But Clay, your question is a good one. It's not like we can do anything, so we might as well find out sooner rather than later if it's continuing to be a problem. And then you can have those conditions.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
2 additional effluent samples in May and July, and then reapply to the Board of Health after the second effluent sample to request reduction to 2 times per year?
Second.
Who made the motion?
Who made the motion?
Lois made,
I
oh,
did.
you seconded. Nancy made the motion.
I made the motion.
Do you also have to say proactively we deny the current request?
Yes,
Okay.
we do have to.
So we are denying the request to reduce. We are denying the reduction request.
Do we have any literature we can send her too? Like, I'm assuming this is a written communication she'll get?
She will get a letter from us, yeah.
Okay. Is there some literature?
We could invite her to the IAA cesspool workshop.
Yeah, for sure. We could root around the county website and see if they have anything pre-drafted.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a question, like, once somebody commits to putting in the system, then, and it doesn't perform well, what do they, do they know what to do? Do they know to contact the operator? Does the operator
The
contact
operator
them?
should know.
So should we, are we notifying the operator about this? Is that up to us or is it up to her?
Operator knows before we do.
But
This operator should not have advised his client to propose a reduction.
So if we continue, because I feel like this is a problem, we're pointing out a problem and we're pointing out something that we can't do anything about, other than inform people, which I guess that's the start. But if this one continues to have really high levels, is there a chance it's like installed properly? Can we get a second person, can we recommend a second person go out and look at the system? Or the fact that we had some that were good means it's installed fine, or we just don't know.
I think it goes back to the operator and how they're performing maintenance on the system. When I was in Wellfleet, we were looking at a regulatory change that would have put more onus on the operators to make sure their systems are functioning as they should, because obviously we put them in for nitrogen reduction, and if they're not reducing nitrogen, then they're serving absolutely zero purpose and function in our community, and we're
Right.
wasting people's money. So I think it's important that the operators engage with their customers and figure out what's going on. So an interview, looking at the influent versus the effluent, which I know isn't really palatable to many people, but if you look at the influent, you would see, oh, this homeowner is clearly conserving water, and, that could be one of the causes. But sometimes they just have to go in and tweak the mechanics of the system to get them to function better.
Have you ever seen a septic system that was not properly installed, and what does that look like?
So it would be difficult for, us as inspectors to go out and look at it. It's not our, super duper area of expertise. We're not installing them, we're not maintaining them. We leave that to the operator, but on this particular system, if the operator saw numbers in the 40s, 3 sampling events in a row, he should be very concerned about that system.
But we don't see evidence of that, which is why I'm asking the secondary
and-
question.
Yeah, which is why sometimes, we could bring the operator in to describe to us why this is happening if the next 2 samples are high.
That's a good idea. If the next 2 are high, come back and bring your operator.
Yeah.
Is the operator the engineer that installed?
No,
Who's the
there's separate-
operator?
There's separate operators. I say
Wastewater.
wastewater tech, Winston Stedman on this one?
Nope, it's
No.
wastewater treatment services out of, was it
Oh.
Rainham or Rentham or? They're good to work with. There's a lot of them,
Or there are a lot of them?
a lot of stuff, a lot of those systems that they operate.
How does somebody who puts in, commits to putting in a system, get the operator? How does that,
So the homeowner seeks out the IA contract for operation and maintenance. So they have their engineer that designs the system.
yeah,
They have their installers who install
yeah,
all the components, and then they have their operator. So they need 3 different people. And some engineers recommend certain operators, others go and just seek one out themselves, so.
okay. Good to know.
So I guess we see what we see in July.
Okay.
They
Okay.
has to come back anyway,
Right, and then we can,
to reapply for the reduction request.
But I think if we start holding the operators
Yeah,
accountable as well, we're gonna see better results long-term.
Well, I will CC wastewater treatment services on the letter that the homeowner gets.
Okay,
Good.
good idea.
Good idea.
but back to your comment about Wellfleet too, like what is our authority to hold them accountable?
Well, they have to meet, they're under a DEP permit to meet 19 milligrams per liter, but I think, we've let them slide, obviously,
Yeah.
because some of the older systems just can't do it. They're still reducing nitrogen based on a standard Title V, but they're not doing well enough, and so moving to the future, if we're requiring people to continue to install these, we want them to function better, or we want to switch out technology, because we're not just putting them in because we think it's a good idea, we actually need them to do the job that they report to do.
So did we make a motion and have a second and voted on it?
Yeah, you
I think
seconded
you
it.
made the motion. You made the motion and Lois seconded.
And we just need a vote.
And then we voted on it.
Okay. Okay. So now we just have the marine beaches and freshwater beaches, so to re-notify you of all of them. So we have, for marine beaches, Campground Beach, Cole Road Beach, Cooks Brook, Dyer Prince, First Encounter Beach, First Encounter River, Kingsbury Beach, Salt Pond, South Sunken Meadow, Thumpertown, and Town Cove. For freshwater beaches or ponds, we have Great Pond, Herring Pond, Jemima's Pond, Long Pond or Depot Street Pond, Minister Pond, and Wiley Park. So if you could make me a motion and a second, and then vote to approve those beaches. And then I'll have you sign the list.
So wait, but the motion is to have you inspect them?
To approve the beaches under the
Our
code that we are purview to, that you have to, this
have to
code,
permit them.
is beaches code. So,
To permit them?
under our purview and your purview, you have to sample, monitor,
Right.
and permit to operate these beaches.
Okay.
Okay,
That's what you're doing. You are approving all of these beaches as I've listed them off on this date to open to the public and then to be sampled and monitored.
okay. Sorry. Paige, did you want to say something?
No, I just said okay.
Oh. All right, so we want to make a motion.
Um,
Oh,
I was
sorry.
just wondering, Susan,
Right.
in the event that, like, in the future, if a pond, for example, shows high levels of nitrates.
No, I'm sorry, so for freshwater, the organism that's sampled is E. coli,
Okay.
and for saltwater, it's enterococci.
If it shows a high level of that, can it be restricted to testing and not like recreation? Is that like the
No
ability?
swimming, we would post for no swimming.
Okay, and that can be done at any time.
If it shows elevated levels, then we would post it, and we work collaboratively with the rec and beach department to close the beach. It has to be resampled by the county sampler. It's a time-consuming process.
Right. Right, like Thumpertown happens.
Yeah, just, yeah.
It's very undesirable.
You don't say Thumperton.
Gotcha.
So I have a
Yeah,
question. So
Same
it
exact
restricts,
process, Clay.
so it restricts swimming. Does it restrict fishing?
What did you say, Paige?
Recreational activities, I believe, is
Does it
what we
restrict
try to-
fishing?
It's posted closed to swimming.
Swimming.
Because
Right,
remember,
so
you
only
could still
swimming, but-
walk
You can still
and
walk
wade.
through it, that's right. Just
Wow,
to swimming.
Okay.
Because you
Okay.
don't want to ingest the water. It's an ingestion issue or an open wound sore issue.
Well, I think the fishing is a good thing to think about. You want to eat the
It's
fish
also
from that
subject to
water?
tidal activity and especially on the bay and, you know, we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Fingers crossed.
Really?
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
So it happens very quickly for us this time of year, every year. Sampling starts next Wednesday.
All right, so we are making a motion to approve of sampling, testing, and operation of the marine and freshwater beaches in Eastham as listed on this sheet, however many, there's 6 freshwater beaches and 3, how many marine? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
12.
12 marine beaches. Is that an adequate motion? Okay,
Yep.
Second.
thank you. All right, let us vote on the motion page.
Aye.
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 Aye. All right. We have a, should we sign this one?
I got it here for you. Everybody sign please.
All right.
Just this one.
Yep.
Everything crossed. Did you see it on the portal? It was.
All right.
And did you see all the lovely minutes that Lori Gillespie Lee did for you guys?
Yes,
I
I
did. Is there any other business before we move on to our minutes, our wonderful many minutes? No? All right, minutes. Yes, I did see them all.
So there's a couple of typos I saw. First of all, on the minutes from February 29th, on the first page, section 3, it's Elena Eisman. And also, I was kind of wondering about that sentence. Elena Eisman asked if the board could be provided with information regarding the opioids funding is being monitored.
Yeah.
I didn't quite
Probably
understand
if-
that.
If or
If.
how. Yeah.
Regarding,
Regarding if
Whether the
the
opi-
opioids
about
funding is
whether-
being monitored.
Yep.
I will add an if.
I like whether. Regarding whether the opioids funding is being monitored.
What do you wanted it to say?
Weather instead of
Weather.
if.
Whether instead of if. And my question was, and did we find out?
I can tell you, yes, it is being monitored. We have a couple different reports from the different agencies. I can tell you that the recovery yoga is the most successful. The aid support mobile van has been parked at our library. The numbers are trickling up there. We're trying to relocate it to the transfer station because that may be a hotter spot. But people are accessing the services. The harm reduction children's art class has not been real successful. We canceled it once and rescheduled it. I think we ran it with 3 children, so that's Dicey. Wellstrong, which is an organization from further down Cape, did not get their programming up and running this fiscal year, so we're gonna work with them again next year. And same holds true for Outer Cape Health Services. They didn't get their educational programs up and running either, so still to be determined.
My recollection was that the yoga had the lion's share of the funding, is that right?
No, the yoga has like the smaller share, the 8 support group has the largest share.
Okay.
And they've come and done, aside from the van, they've done a number of different trainings for, they trained town hall, we had them at food service trainings.
Board of Health.
We had them at the Board of Health meeting. So we've had them a lot of places just doing the Narcan training, which is great. They offer the fentanyl test strips and they'll show you how to use them. And in their mobile van, they do all kinds of needle exchange programs, Narcan, education, directing folks to services.
Do you have the opportunity to reallocate, particularly if a couple of the programs didn't get
Yes.
started? Can you reallocate?
Yeah, it's interesting because we do it regionally. We need all of our regional partners to agree to shift funding, shift programming. So I think for next year, we're gonna run the same programs again. We might tweak them a little bit just because many of them didn't get up and running. Advertising and outreach has been real tricky. And we want to see if they're truly successful or not. We also know that the farther out in years we go, our funding decreases. So we're really going to have to pick and choose the programs that are most successful and most beneficial.
Do you have information on the syringe disposal?
Yes.
And one of the reasons I'm asking is because of the demographics of the population and people living with diabetes who may have syringes and have them just in their
Yeah,
basements.
we can certainly do some more public education and outreach on that, absolutely.
Just
We have the
that's,
Sharps program at the PD.
Yeah, and the aid support group, they will, on one of their days where they're working with all of us, they go to various locations and pick things up. So,
the other place to put a Sharps disposal, just for FYI, is like at CVS. And there's precedent for that, with CVS specifically. Just people are in there, you don't have to make a separate trip,
yeah.
there you are, there's your Sharps disposal, throw them in.
Do they throw in the big red containers?
It depends on the unit. Some
Yeah.
can. There's some units I've seen that, they look like mailboxes, kind
Yeah.
of. So it's only one way in, you can't
Yeah.
possibly reach your arm in and get them out. So if it's big enough, yes.
But just to further the point on getting information out to the public, we are going to hold some type of meeting in the fall with all of our regional partners for the public or boards of health, select boards, to see, how successful the programming has been. So
Okay,
consider that a preview.
thank you.
Another comment on the minutes? On the other business? Of course, you read where your name is.
Yes.
Yeah, I was asking about the Truro regulations rather than Wellfleet, but it's not a material.
Where is that?
Their other business?
Yeah,
On these, from this meeting?
on the old, the last month's minutes. Other business, section 8.
Yeah.
February, March, or April?
Oh,
I think this
Feb-
we're in
the February?
February, right?
We were working on February right now.
oh, sorry. Behind the
But you're
times.
right. No. It says cesspools in Eastham as well Fleet has, but it's Truro that has the
Truro.
regs.
Is that March, though? That was March, right?
I think it
No,
was
that's a
February.
February. That's February, was the long meeting.
It's February. It's February.
Yeah, we did,
Yeah,
but
okay.
I apparently, I must have said Wellfleet in the meeting. It was
Well,
short.
they're
No, I don't
close.
think so.
They're next
It's
to each
Truro.
other.
I think it's
I mean,
just
I
a
got
typo.
Truro. Anyway, it is true.
It's definitely true.
It's definitely true.
Yeah.
So will you make a motion to approve the minutes with those edits?
Wait, I have some not done. I'm sorry. Just one other thing on the third page. My name is Francine, not Francine. Second in the motion.
Still on February, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was all.
Moving on to March, what you got?
Wait, are we? Should we, I make a motion, I would like to move to accept the minutes of the meeting of February 29th as amended.
Second.
Okay. Do we vote? All those in favor?
All those in favor, aye. Paige, are you still
Aye.
there? Thank
Aye.
you. All right, now we can move on to March.
So I just have this one question on opening statements, also the sentence I was confused about, working with the Cape Cod Aid Support Group. Who's working? I mean, was there a beginning of that sentence?
Where are you?
Opening
Third bullet,
statements,
number
third
2.
bullet.
Yeah.
Health Department is busy now scheduling inspections. Eastham hosted a choke saver class conducted by Medical Reserve Corps and a Narcan training session provided by Cape Cod Aid Support Group.
Yeah, who's
Who
working? You
was-
wanted to say,
We are, I mean, who's working?
What does it say working?
On the March 28th, opening statements.
Long month.
Oh, yeah.
Working
Sound
with
familiar
the
what you were reading.
I mean, those were just my updates, so
I just wanted
Susan Barker is working with the aides.
Susan Barker.
because Susan Barker provided the following updates.
Yeah, so
So-
Susan Barker
So
is
we,
working.
the Health Department and Susan Barker are working with.
Board of Health working with.
Can we just put "we are"? It's weird, kind of non-sentence.
Well, it's because
Health
it's,
Department,
The Health Department is working with the Cape Cod Aid Support Group.
got it.
Got it, okay. And this is not a correction, but the layer cake, has there been any more information about moving this from removing it from the pilot program?
No, the letter was sent to Mass DEP, and then we wait to hear back.
We never heard back yet.
Not yet.
Okay. So I think that's it for that. Are we good with these?
I am,
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the Board of Health meeting Thursday, March 28th, as amended.
second.
Aye.
Aye. Paige?
Aye.
Thank
Aye.
you. Unanimous acceptance. All right, moving on to April.
Yep. Where is April?
Do you want to say, now, now I'm getting pecky, because under opening statements, it has, have hired a new administrative assistant. Do you want to say, the Health Department has hired a new administrative assistant?
Town of Eastham. yeah.
Town of Eastham.
I don't have anything else.
Nope. All right, I will make a motion to accept the Eastham Board of Health meeting minutes from Thursday, April 25th as amended.
Second.
All right, aye? Paige?
Aye.
All
Aye.
right, accepted.
Okay.
All right, in that case, we could entertain a motion to adjourn. We need signed signatures before we do that.
I move to adjourn this meeting.
Second.